Hello and welcome to another episode of It's the Vibe podcast. You are with your host, Megan. I hope you are well. I just went to record this episode and noticed that my cat had chewed through my podcast microphone cord. So I hope this audio is going to be okay. I've also got a back neighbor who is deciding to fucking angle grind everything in his shed. So we're going to work with it because this is a episode full of potency. I'm fucking excited to get it out there. I'm very refreshed after what has been an icky couple of weeks for myself. So if you've clicked on the episode, you'll see the title, What the Fuck is Success and How Good is Quote Unquote Failing? So if you're watching this on YouTube, you will see me air quote the word fail. If you're listening to this in your ears on the potty, just air quote the word fail because I'm going to talk significantly deep in these two topics. So since last time I decided to Google the definition of what I was talking about, I'm going to carry this theme into this week as well. So the success definition is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Okay. The accomplishment of an aim or purpose. That is success, according to Google Dictionary. Now, failure, on the other hand, is the lack of success. So that's what the definition of failure is. So it got me thinking, and I'll go again into the backstory of what inspired me for this episode. But think about how different accomplishment feels and how failure feels to different people depending on your goals. So to some, success is a high-paying job, a Lambo in the driveway, a big fuck off mansion, and to others, it's a combi van filled with fuel and a day of good surf. So I'm interested to dive in deeper as to what you have identified as success to you. Because last week I had to completely think and redefine what the fuck success meant to me after a decent sized meltdown, which was resulted in like a culmination of me thinking, you know what, it's just going to be easier to go back to working full time. I cried for like an hour on the phone to my mum. I cried for like an hour on the way out to a client meeting. Thankfully, it was in the Barossa, so I had some time to sort of get out there because, yeah, it was like I really just sort of like questioned everything and I was like, what am I even doing? Like, what the hell? So what I will say actually about my big meltdown is, however, I felt significantly better after. So obviously it was building up and I had to get it all out. And my mum is one of the people that if I have some emotion to get out, she seems to be the one that cops the majority of it. So I had held it all together beautifully until my mum called me and then I just cried. And so she got to hold me in that space. So thanks, mum. And I also listened to the most saddest playlist I could find on Spotify. I literally was like searching for sad songs and I was howling, like not sobbing. I was fucking howling. So after that, we felt better. We moved on. We put our big girl pants back on and away we went. But being me and being my analytical mind, I had to understand what the hell had gone on to make me have that reaction or to make me feel those particular feelings. And then it got me thinking of like, well, where am I at life? Where am I in my life? How am I feeling about my life? I analyze them weekly with my CEO days. I constantly think about the things I'm wanting to achieving, but I just didn't get to the point where I took stock of where I kind of was, took my fucking blinkers off and like took a little bit more of a peripheral view, I suppose, around me. So speaking of success, my definition of success has certainly changed over the years as well. I used to be the definition of a corporate ladder climber. Like any ladder that was to be climbed, mate, she was up there. And now obviously I have shifted my life significantly into my biz babe era. So I am on the hustle, I'm on the grind, building my business and creating this life for myself that is about nobody else except for myself, and I suppose the people that I choose to bring along on the journey with me. So the backstory to all of this. So let's rewind like 6 months ago. I left a very well-paying full-time job to pursue my coaching business full-time. So I took an insane leap of faith in myself knowing that I was going to have to live off my savings for a while. And that, I told myself I was going to start watching what I was spending. I was going to be laser focused on what I was doing. Well, so I just say fucking none of that happened. And by the way, as I was kind of like writing this, I was like, fucking, how's the ambition on it? Like, I was ready and I was expecting to replace my 6-figure salary with my business, right? And this is why the people in my life call me a dreamer, because, I've got big expectations of myself. So when I don't meet those expectations that I purely set on myself, no one has set any other expectations on me other than myself. Right? You set them this high, you best believe you're going to have to fucking work hard to get to those big dreams and big goals. And I always manage a way to get there, but I have a breakdown or two on the way, and that's fine. That's why, you maintain your vehicle, right? You maintain your vehicle and then it keeps going down the track. Well, I forgot to maintain myself, my vehicle. So we had a few breakdowns, but now look, we've had a service, we've had a tune up, and we're back on the road to whatever is the end goal is going to be. So as I look back on the last 6 months, I've basically done the opposite of what I had intended to. So as I said, I wasn't careful with my money. I was not self-disciplined in anything, right? Including working my business. And I continued to live the life as if the money was rolling in each month, no matter what I was doing, what I was up to. And obviously it doesn't work that way. So to bring in cash and extra money, I was doing marketing consulting as what I was calling on the side. And again, I use these in quotes, on the side. I was doing marketing consulting on the side. So I am beyond grateful, and like words cannot explain how insane, the last few months have been, in particular in my marketing business, because of the referrals I have gotten purely based off of my reputation. So I've either worked with these people, or I've done business with these people, and I have either liaise with them in some capacity that they're looking to either refer me to somebody for marketing or bring me on to do their marketing themselves. So it actually continued to grow to the point that I had to establish like a company, like an actual business around marketing. So Pink Silhouette Marketing was born. And if you are on my coaching page stories at all, you will see like she is a huge big part of my life these days. I couldn't work as a sole trader anymore because what I was doing required me to, one, outsource some creative stuff, but to also be able to invoice people accordingly. So me sending off my half-assed Canva created invoices wasn't cutting it anymore. So somehow, as a result of all this, I felt like a big fat failure. And I tell you why, is because my coaching business was, we're still bringing in money, of course, and I had a few new clients here and there, but the growth in my marketing business meant that I spent obviously significantly more time in that space and on that side of the fence, and I completely punished myself for it. So I left my job to be a mindset coach. Not working marketing was my insane mindset, and something that I held on to and was somehow wired as a belief in my silly little mind to result in basically feeling like I completely fucked up, and was just like, why would I leave a job like that paid that money, and all of the things that, like, the spiral downward. She was a cracker. So thankfully I am the part of the most amazing mastermind, and I have the most amazing VA, and I have the most amazing people in my life. And more so, the first couple of groups that I just mentioned shone a huge spotlight on me and how dramatically I was holding myself back, and how I had the most ridiculous definition of what success looked like for myself, that I missed so many things that were right in front of me. Okay. I was manifesting new clients. That was my goals. That's what I wanted. I wanted new clients. Were they coaching clients? No, they were fucking marketing. And I have been gifted opportunity after opportunity in Pink Silhouette Marketing, but my control and the fact that I was like tunnel vision for the past 6 months, I have literally been white knuckling through the last few months in particular, which, like I said, led to me having a big ass fucking meltdown where my mum had to listen to me cry for an hour, and then I drove for an hour and cried myself. And quick side note, I remember this meme, and I think it was actually on Facebook. Like, this is how old this meme was. It was like, money doesn't buy you happiness, but I'd rather cry in my Ferrari or something like that. And I was just like, motherfucker, I am literally the definition of that right now, as I uncontrollably howl in my Porsche that I bought with my money that I earned because of how hard I work and because of how successful my marketing business is. But I was still upset and I was still devastated. I still had to have that breakdown. So back to the story. So I was not able to self-regulate myself in that moment. Okay. I literally could not, I was uncontrollable in that time. So before I ran into the shoot, I sat in my car for 10 minutes, composed myself. Like I said, once I let it all out, I felt quite a bit better, did a bit of a meditation, and then went and got on with my day. And thankfully, the next day I had a mastermind call with the Trailblazer group, and I was held a big fat mirror up to me, and I was really reflected quite a lot of things back to me that I kind of refused to face for myself. That this bunch of women were able to mirror back to me and really just highlight the things that I was missing and the things that I knew all along. And this version of myself that I was desperately trying to create, she was right in front of me. I just refused to see her for what she was. And because I had this idea in my head of what having a successful business had to look like. So the question I was asked, why did you want to get into business? And I can tell you the answer right now. I wanted to be in business because I wanted to create my own schedule and I wanted to help people. That was it, right? I'm not a 9 to 5er. I am like a fucking 5 a.m.er to a bloody 9 p.m.er. That actually flips the way around. But I am the type of mind and the type of brain and, with the ADHD that flows through my head and the personality type that I am according to human design, you cannot constrict my creativity, and again, air quotes, creativity, and, the best out of me in a 9 to 5 scenario. It just doesn't work that way. So I wanted to create my own schedule to fucking kill it in life and, put out into the world my creations on my own schedule, and I wanted to help people at the same time. So as I say this and complain about old mate across the road who is anger grinding, Prada's now deciding to get involved as well. So we're just going to cut her out and hope to Jesus that my MacBook Pro microphone is as amazing as they say, and that this is not going to be picked up by her. Anyway, so I wanted to be in business because I wanted to create my own schedule and I wanted to help people. Am I doing that? Absolutely, I am. It just doesn't look like I thought it would. And in fact, when I took my idiot lenses off, and I know I should be nicer to myself, but I just could I'm so frustrated with the things that I have potentially missed because of like these, what I'm calling idiot lenses for whatever reason off. It is better than I could have ever imagined. Okay. So I'm wanting to be a successful coach and mindset mentor. I have created a successful boutique marketing agency. I have the most amazing clients and work that actually makes my days so much fun, which is why I did a day in the life of Megs. If you are listening to this in real time, it was yesterday on my coaching page. I did a come along with me day, and I've just watched it back. I'm recording this quite late on the same day. And I literally had tears streaming down my face. I was like, holy shit, that's me. Like that. It was almost like I was watching a movie of somebody else, but it's just like I can see it's me and I can see it's my face and I can see it's, obviously I can see it through my own eyes because I lived it. But I was just like, what the fuck? Like, why was I so upset? And why did I deem this to be such a failure when I have gone out into this world, like literally balls to the wall? I've like went all in on being in business on myself. I've chewed through my savings. I have made stupid financial decisions for somebody who doesn't have a regular income, or didn't have a regular income, I should say, to then grow what is effectively replacing my previous full-time wage when I work full-time. So I have done from that to that in 6 months, and I still had the audacity and the nerve to be upset about it. So what's the point of all of this? I hear you asking, or maybe you're not asking, maybe you're like, you know what, this is obvious. It wasn't to me. So I just need to let the fuck go of control, get out of my own way, and become more obsessed with the destination and not the journey. So as cliche as it is, the destination, not the journey. And the more I go through life and business, the more I understand this to be so beyond true. And being mindful of where you are when you are. Right. So when I was chewing through my savings, I got to a particular savings point where I was like, I hate this. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. Okay. 3 months ago. I continued to spend like an idiot and continued to chew through and to chew through. Right. And then I would look back and I was like, oh my God, I wish I was in that predicament back then. Being mindful and really like embracing where you are and not being so hard on yourself and like what I'm calling boa constricting your life. And I'm like using hand gestures again. If you watch this on YouTube, you get it. If you're listening to the podcast, I'm so sorry. My hands are flying around all over the place. But you're like constricting what is able to come to you because you're constricting your life. And if you let go and stop like doing what I was doing and fucking white knuckling it the way through, gritting your teeth, and you know what, just like head down, bum up, away we go. The second that I stopped that, and this is something that I am a sucker for. The second I stopped that and just stopped the doing part and literally sat back and I just allowed myself to have the space and just to be. Like, again, being the person, I am a projector if you are into human design. So I need to be. I need solitude. I need alone time. I need to not do anything. I need a fucking Netflix binge for my creativity to come back. I need a big old nap for my creativity to come back. And here I am. I was, using the archetype of my previous life in the corporate world where I work. And I'm not afraid of hard work. I will outwork anybody. But I now do it in times and ways and flows that works for me better so that like the creativity that is pouring out of me at the minute is just even a surprise to me. Like I knew I was creative, but this is like a whole other level. And the things that are just dropping in and I'm like, and the campaign ideas that I can come up with off the top of my head, I'm like, okay, like off we bloody go. So again, let go, stop trying to squeeze yourself, stop trying to have, single vision, this is it, tunnel vision. If it doesn't go like this, everything else is fucked, right? Now, in saying this, I know there is such a thing as a plan A. It's like a plan A something, right? Which basically means you got a plan A, you don't have a plan B. So my plan A obviously was to have a successful coaching business and replace my full-time income with revenue from said business. Okay, that was my plan A. Now, I'm going to call this plan like A.5 because I technically wanted to go into business, okay, and have a successful business. It's just not the business that I had intended. And if I had have kept going down the track of like, if it's not the coaching business, it's nothing, I can't even imagine where I would be. Not to mention, I didn't realize how much I loved the space that I'm in because I had done it in corporate environments before, which was completely different when you work obviously for a business, but I get to work with the most amazing people. I get to be as creative as I want. I get to, do it in a way that feels so good to me. So I then in turn deliver more back to my clients. And I'm telling you, the more failures I actually had in like what we'll call, I don't want to call it the coaching business, but you know what I mean? Again, it's air quote failures. I had huge wins in others. So if I didn't get the certain amount of signups I wanted for a particular program, big fat failure. But then the next minute, something else was to happen in pink select marketing, right? If I didn't sign up the amount of one-on-one clients I wanted to in a particular week, she's failed. Yeah, something else happened in pink select marketing. So, and not just small things either. It was fucking huge. So I got invited to networking events with influencer CEOs. I attended a luncheon with the Premier of South Australia. I got invited in corporate boxes into different sporting events, into volunteering groups, which obviously is a way for me to give back because that's, again, my love language is acts of service. Big name MCs calling me out by name at events, and just an insane amount of learning in business and in marketing as well. So again, I'm always learning. I love to approach life with a beginner's mindset. I can teach me all of the things. I am like a sponge around people that I want to learn from. And it was really funny. At one of the events I was at, it was for the Hutt Street Centre. It was a business luncheon. So there was a bunch of different businesses there. It was a fundraising, obviously, function. Absolutely beautiful, the stories. And I forever will give to the Hutt Street Centre and homeless shelters in general for that matter. I really think that, homelessness is just something that's so unnecessary and something we should be able to stamp out as a society. Side note, but basically one of my clients were the major sponsor of this event. And the other major sponsor of this event was a business that was my very first job. Right. So this job I was a receptionist at. I started as a receptionist, worked my way up. I was a PA and then I went into actually it was an accounting firm. So learning basically how to be an accountant from there. So it was just like this full circle, like I could pinch myself moment where I was at an event and a function with people that I used to work with who were still at that business, right? Looking at the Megs that was then and who I am now, I was the receptionist who was trying to climb her way to be promoted, to learn new things, to, show how, good that she was and how hard she could work. And, it was just like this, like, really unhealthy version of myself. And that continued throughout my career, actually, which is like, that was the start of it, to then being invited by a client to shoot content at this event and be able to sit down and just enjoy, being able to donate, larger sums of money to a cause that I really care about. So the full circle moment in that was just like insane. And I had to pinch myself on the way home, because I was like, how is this life? Like, how amazing is this? So everywhere where I have quote unquote failed in one area, my life has amplified insanely on the other side. And it's just the best thing ever. Okay. Wrapping all of this up for you guys. If you're listening to this and you're in business, I'm sending you love, because this shit's fucking hard. Okay. And you're doing amazing, and no one knows what the hell they're doing. We're figuring all this out as we go along. All right. And if you're interested in starting a business and you've listened to this and you're like, fuck that, don't say that. It is the best thing ever. It is the hardest you'll ever work. But what I do is recommend you have the following. You need an amazing support system, like amazing. And I'm not just talking about friends that want to hype you up and friends that will want to, be like, yeah, you'll be fine. Like I'm talking about like people that you aspire to be. I'm talking about people that understand your situation. And I'm talking about people that you can literally just cry to and melt down to, and they can pick you back up. And this is in and out of business as well. I recommend you find groups of people that are in business too. Don't get like, that is crucial, because I'm all about proximity, and what you can absorb from being in people who are doing the things that you're doing, because they understand your struggles. But an amazing support system in partners, in friends, and in family is so key, because even though they may not understand what you're going through, they're going to be there for you, and you're going to have that safety net. Was what it felt like for me on Thursday, when I could just, speak to my mum and cry forever, and then ring my partner and just cry forever. And actually, he didn't want to call me because he knew that I'd cry more. He was just giving me all the love. And, a friendship group that I could just be like, you know what, today sucks, guys. Like, I suck. Everything sucks, and then have the most beautiful messages sent back to me. And it's just like, you know what? No, like, let me just fix my crown. Let me just get back on with it, because this isn't it. So you need those people in your life. And my other recommendation is, do not take advice from anyone who isn't in business. People want to give you advice. People want to tell you things, and, you can take it with whatever you want and view it through whatever lens you want to, but just have a look at their life. You need to make sure that you're taking advice from people who are either doing or have done the things that you want to do, because they will understand you better. And if you're taking advice from someone who isn't in business, then, other than being supportive, nice words, it's really probably not going to help you on your path. You also need a strong as fuck mindset, and including you time just for you. So I've spoken to, recently, I was actually talking to Ellie about this morning, and that was around, you clock off, like, and again, quote unquote, clock off. And then all you do is think about your business. It doesn't leave you. You want to take leave. There's nobody there just to pick up the work for you. Like, if you are in business, you just need to know that it's going to be your life. And it is, because I've released the holds of what I thought it was going to be, to how fucking excited I am for what I am creating and, the direction that I'm going in, that it's like, all I want to do is think about it. So you need to be that obsessed with it, because it will consume you. And it, like I said, there's not going to be anyone there if you're sick to pick up the work. Obviously, unless you're a big corporation, but if you're just starting out, it's just you, baby girl. You got to do it. And also, just to know that, if you've got no idea what the fuck you're doing, I think you're doing it right. Because it's really hard to build a business and to do all of these new things that you're doing, that I feel like when you get to a certain point where you're like, mate, I've got this fucking nailed, you're not growing. And that's exactly, I think, what last week was trying to teach me, because it was the first week since in 6 months that I have felt like I have nailed my schedule. My deadlines are being met. My campaign's being executed. My clients are happy, all of these things. And it was my biggest fucking meltdown in business today. So what does that tell you? I still have more to do. And actually, the other thing it tells me is that I created space in my brain to be like, hey, remember me? I'm upset. Here you go. And my final thing that I just want to really reiterate, and again, I think most business owners will agree with me, it's not going to look how you think it will. It's really, really not. Like when you have a path, you go from A to B and you think it's going to be sort of like linear, like it's just, unless you, I don't even know if you can. If it can, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I've just gone a zigzag ass way about it. But what I love about this concept now looking back is how fucking cool. Like it can look better. Like you can have this vision for yourself and for your life, and it can be better than that. So you want to create this, whether, you know, even if you're working for a job now and you have this side hustle idea, like you can think to yourself, you know, I'm going to work full time in that business and I'm going to grow this business and I'm going to do, but think bigger. Like it can look better. And there are absolutely no limits on what you can actually achieve when your whole soul goes into it. But you just need to remember that it's not going to look how you think, but it can look better, which is awesome. So I have Pink Silhouette Marketing and Megan Coleman Coaching, which are now coexisting together. So I can actually really support business owners, obviously not just with marketing, but also the mindset behind business. And I've always called myself the best in your corner on this podcast. If you're an OG Hype Queen listener, you'll know that is literally, that was the tagline for the podcast. And now is we do things differently around here. And it's the vibe, because we do things so differently, because like, why do it the normal way? So now I'm also your bestie in biz as well. And if I look at the clientele that I have and the relationships that I have, you know, nurtured and developed with these people, that's the reason I've been able to have this success for these businesses and in my business as well, because I get to know the person behind the business. I get to know, you know, exactly the message that these business owners want to amplify, and I give them the platform to be able to do so. But I can also remove even small blocks, like you wouldn't imagine, you know, CEOs and directors and these big profile people who come across so extroverted and whatever, who hate being in front of camera. You know, it's really hard to direct a shoot with somebody who, like, the second you put a camera in front of their face, they're like their whole demeanor changes. Right. So that is what I love about everything I've learned in coaching, is that I'm able to work alongside these business owners, you know, and these content creators, and literally extract the extrovert version out of them, and, you know, be able to support and, you know, work through directing a shoot that comes out insanely amazing, because I've been able to, you know, pull them out of their comfort zone. And I think, you know, that is one thing that I am great at, and something that I really, you know, love, that the relationship I have with really anybody is my ability to make people feel comfortable around me. Like when people say that to me, it's just honestly the biggest compliment ever. So what does that mean for one-on-one coaching? I'm still going to have mindset coaching and mentoring open. It does give me the greatest joy, I will say, to work one-on-one with somebody and see, you know, their transformation in front of my eyes. It is the best thing ever. It will be super limited moving forward, obviously, as I leap into Pink Silhouette Marketing. And I use the term leap because the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, if you haven't read it, do yourself a favor, because and I'm so grateful that my mentor Katie recommended it to me, because it has just, it's blown my mind. And in thinking about since when I actually read that book to like now, it's only been a couple of weeks and shit has shifted. So it's powerful. So just remember, success looks different to everyone. And you're your only measure of success. Your feelings are actually your only measure of success. So make sure that you're being super true to yourself and what you value, instead of using your measuring stick against somebody else who lives a life that you don't even actually want, because you don't even know what it looks like. Okay, we're all good at putting this front on, but behind the scenes, like, it's likely a shit show. And the podcast will be here forever. It's like the love of this podcast that I have is like just unmatched. And so I will be integrating my biz learnings in here as well. So typically I kept the Hype Queen very mindset focused. And, you know, maybe that was the reason for the rebrand. Maybe, you know, it's the vibe was born off the back of knowing that I was going to be transitioning into the sort of this different phase of, you know, I guess things that I was going to be able to help people with. So huge shout out to the people in my life. You guys are always here to cheer me on and support me in these moments. I love you guys so much. So thank you. I am forever grateful for my friends, for my family, for the mastermind, for my partner, for everybody who has supported me in my journey in business, who, you know, even people that called me insane for quitting the job that I had to pursue my dreams. I love you guys so much. Now, I'm obsessed with what's not the vibe and what is the vibe. And because there has been a lot in this episode, and this episode is clearly going to be longer than my other episodes, but yeah, I hope it lands for somebody. So what's not the vibe for this week? denying our brilliance. And you know, when they say to you in school, like when you get picked on by like the asshole kids, and your parents say, oh, you know, you're special in your own way and whatever. Fucking hell, you are. Like we are all truly being called to do something in life that is uniquely ours, to be uniquely us. And without having the space and the mental clarity to listen out for what that is, or to observe what that is, we will keep living a life that is just not destined for us. So that's getting really deep. But I feel like, you know, denying what my zone of genius actually is, in, you know, trying to force myself, you know, square peg in a round hole kind of vibes, like I have delayed what I potentially could have created because I was so desperately trying to fit into something that wasn't for me. Okay. And so my second piece of this is, do not boa constrict your life. I'm going to do a whole other podcast episode on this, because like there are so many ways in which we don't actually realize how we boa constrict our lives. So like a boa constrictor, and like, you know, it's that I know what it is. It's the snake from the Jungle Book. His name is Kaa. He's a boa constrictor, right? He like squishes the fuck out of Mowgli and then he can't breathe anymore. All right. Don't do that to yourself or to your dreams or to anything that you want to create in this life. Let it all go. Be like which one is I think it's Bagheera is the panther. Be the Bagheera to your Kaa in life. So you're Mowgli, Kaa is the boa constrictor, Bagheera is the panther that knocks the boa constrictor out so that Mowgli can breathe again. I'm not sure why that's the analogy. And you know what? This is what happens when I have my goddaughter, or I'm around my goddaughter. It's just like, bring on the fucking Disney movies, because that's my whole vibe. So we're not doing that to our life. Okay. So what is the vibe for this week? Clearly, having faith in yourself and your abilities, and letting your zone of genius, to quote Gay Hendricks, or your own brilliance to come out. Letting go and allowing some sort of surrender so that what you want can actually come to you. And also we're clearing out the neggy shit. And leaving space for wants to come in. And I think that's been the other piece, and the way that I look at every migraine that I've gone through recently, every endo flare I've had recently, all of these things is literally, I feel like my body's physical way of like extracting all of the shit that I've been holding onto that I have not needed to. And if, like, I was talking to Katie about this like a couple of weeks ago actually, and we're talking about when babies go through leaps. And they sleep more and they eat more and they, you know, they rest and they're reviving and they're coming out this like new version of themselves effectively. It's like the cocoon and the butterfly as well, the same thing. But what we don't allow ourselves to do is, when we go through huge changes, huge shifts and all of those sorts of things, we don't allow ourselves to recalibrate to where we are. We just can't try to keep going on with life like fucking nothing's happened. So don't do that either. That's also not the vibe this week. Don't keep growing and growing and growing, but give yourself the time to recalibrate to where you are. So we've gone significantly over. As you can probably tell if you're watching this on YouTube, I've been insanely animated because this, like, I can't tell you the shift that has happened for me personally over the last in the last week since I had that big fat meltdown, and what I have done to clear out and move forward. And I am beyond excited for what Pink Silhouette marketing is going to look like, even just in the coming weeks. You know, with Ellie and I have huge plans for it, and I'm just excited. So watch this space. And if you ever need a marketing ear, I'm all yours. So that is the episode that I have for you. I love you guys so much. I hope you got some value out of this episode. And remember, no matter what you're doing, make sure it's the vibe.